the news report that came out about Tencent, something to do in China and with a gaming and something else, and China passing extra legislation. I think that started brewing about a week ago or something, or longer.
Yeah, because they've ruled that they can't on their music platform. The thing like Apple Music.
Yeah.
The Tencent one, they can't have exclusive rights, which they had before, and it cost them that's a big problem that for them financially.
But when did that story start?
It started a while ago, but they only ruled on it like recently, like in court. Yeah, the government.
You see, if a rumor like that starts and you got shares like that, I would just get out. Or you got to, if you think it's still going to go up, then you must put a stop loss in. You must put something there that takes you out automatically, or you mentally got to go.
I'm not in charge of that portfolio. This is pension money, I think.
Yeah. I'm just going to allow Graham in. Yeah, that's as I said in my post. When you involved with individual company shares, you've got to be on the fundamentals of that thing the whole time, or you got to watch the technicals. You've got to watch the fundamentals and the technicals, and yeah. I'm just waiting for Graham. He's on his way in. When Graham's here, let's just look at crypto first. I've been listening to a couple of other guys as well to hear what they're saying.
Well, the Sanlam guy says this education, fintech, and stuff like that is only 3% of Tencent's value. There shouldn't be more than a 3% drop in the value of the shares. But there's been today alone 7%. But they're waiting for the doom and gloom to stop. But if you look at the graph, yes, see.
Jared
posted fat decline for a long time.
Jared asked me about Naspers a week ago, and I posted a chart. And on that chart, I said it's got to hold that level. Let me just find that chart quickly. Just go
process.
Get it up here.
I don't know if process is the same as Naspers.
Well, they both contain 10% percentages.
Isn't Naspers basically merged with Process recently?
Yeah, they took the 10% portion of Naspers and they put it in a separate company called Process.
Yes. Okay.
And Naspers owns Process. It's they did a sale of share and swap for assets. And it was, if you ask me, it was a way of getting money out the country. But if you look at the graphs, Jock, you're looking sick, eh?
Of that process.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it will be something major fundamental like that will have a huge impact. But then you must have
it's way under the 200-day moving average.
Under the 200-day. But have a look if it's not coming. All right, let me just pull that. Okay, where it gets to Naspers, let me just share that screen. Graham was
Process.
Graham was on his way in and now he's gone again. I don't know what's happened to him.
You can go Process is PRX. And that's the Euro next Amsterdam.
On Naspers, let me just share that screen. You can see that Naspers screen now in TradingView.
Yeah.
You see this was quite an important support level here. There it was resistance, and you see how it found, how many times it found support. 1, 2, 3. There it actually came into the support level, and it bounced again. And this was last week, and it cleared that channel. And then I said to Jared, but it's got to hold this level here. And then it
So where's March?
No, this is on the daily time frame. So we're talking that last support there was 21st of July. And
but if you go and look at process, it's looking sicker.
Just find it. What's the code?
PRX.
PRX. Process. Okay, there.
Okay,
let me just have a look at this thing. Hold on, let me just, I was going to go and look again where Graham is. Participants. Graham. Okay, wait. I'm just letting Graham in again.
I'm trying to close the victim on my screen here, but it's your screen.
You can still see my there's Graham now. How's Graham? Can you hear us?
Duck neck.
Graham, you can hear us.
How's that neck, Graham? Like any word neck.
Wait, he's still connecting to the audio. He's still connecting to the audio. His audio is not on yet.
He heard me.
Yep.
Yeah, there. Yeah, he's there.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Graham.
Yep.
How's your neck holding up? Is it a month?
Yeah, some days are better than others, but basically we're doing all right. Thanks.
Cool.
So there's progress.
Yep, it is.
Graham, we're just having a quick look here at a share called Process.
Yes, I know it.
I'm just gonna hold on a sec. I just want to.
One thing I didn't understand, Jacques, is where you said it's gone to naught. Well, the chart said it's gone to naught.
What Process?
Yeah.
No, it's sitting here on 67.
Okay.
This is on TradingView. Process is on a daily chart.
Yeah, it's just. But if you
it,
look at its high was.
I just want to have a look I just want to have a look on a weekly chart. What's going on here?
Yeah.
But okay, this thing only started in 2019 by the looks of things.
Yeah. Well, 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't know if you can see me. Sorry, I'm just resetting my thing because it's giving me a bit of trouble at the moment.
So there's
there we
little,
go. Okay. There we go. Okay.
There's very little historical data. But obviously this 78.6 fib level will be a support. You know.
Yeah. And what is that? What would the value there be? 613.
61.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look on a daily. On a
So
1
it's
day.
going to drop another 3-4%.
Yeah.
Then you jump in and buy.
There, right there, you are 60, 61.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about all you can do there. If you want to own this, if you want to own it.
Yeah, if you want to own it.
If you want to own it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go and just share my see the other charts now again. Eh? You can see the. Can you see the Ethereum chart?
Yeah.
Graham, are you here?
Yep, I am. Can you see me?
I've just killed all the. I've just minimized all the.
People.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I
good.
can see you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just going to
okay,
minimize you again.
Good.
But I can hear
Make me small.
So long as everybody can hear
Oh.
me.
Yeah.
Let's just look at this Ethereum. Obviously the 10, the 20. This is a chart I used last time with you people. I'm just cleaning it up a bit quickly. All right, this obviously, but I mean, you've been watching the posts that I've been doing. That was a major resistance level there. Now, as I said, as I was saying earlier on, I've been listening to, also reading what a couple of other people have been saying, and obviously, you know, a lot of people are saying that was an A leg up there. This so far it's just a correction, and that's the C leg up here. So from this bottom, yeah, it could be an ABC. And then this morning when I posted, I said, look, let's now assume for 1 minute that this is the bottom over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this could be a 1 up here, and then we're going to have some kind of pullback to a 2 over here. And just, yeah, let me just get these onto the right level, there and there. So you can see that those two, the 20 and the 10 EMA is also sitting on this trend line. Obviously, if it goes below this level, you know, then it could still come down here. That's now if this is a 1. Let me just quieten whatever that is making that noise. So, and then I also said that if that's a 1, then we could get a smaller now correction, a B, and then a C down to this level here somewhere. Okay, so that would be a smaller A and a B, and then a C down to here.
Sorry, Jacques, are we in real time here?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Then ABC down to that level. I'm just going to move these out the way a bit. Which kind of fits a picture. That's not if this is the bottom. And if this is not a correction up to there, and then it's going to go lower. So now we have to, this is not going on to the hourly time scale. So this and you see this looks very much like a 5-wave move down here. This looks very much like a 1, 2, this triangle 3, 4, 5 for an A, and now B up to here somewhere. It could even go higher. It could go up here to the 78.6 level. Would be sitting here somewhere, and then down here. And obviously, Graham, what you were thinking of is because you're holding some of this, is you want to get out here somewhere and rebuy over here.
Yeah.
Now, there's also the other possibility that this thing does make, that this thing somehow tries to get through this level and goes up here, which is one also can't rule out, which would be unusual with this kind of massive rejection that you had from this resistance level, yeah. But anything's possible. Yeah. Anything's possible. Now, but if it does do that, if it does get up to that level, even on the 4-hour time scale, you can see if that price gets up here, there's going to be quite a big divergence here, because this RSI will only most probably get up to that level there. So even if you had to stay in your position that you've got and it gets up there, I would put a stop loss, let's say, back on this resistance level. Because if this resistance level goes through this resistance level, and this is a real move, then it'll go through and it'll come back and it'll test the support and then carry on going up. but we're thinking once again a little bit far ahead. We now have to see what's going to happen here. And on the 15-minute time scale, you know, you can literally almost draw now a support level like that. I often do that. I'll take now, because initially your trend line could have been drawn there. What I like doing is initially I'll draw the trend line and that like that. But then once the price goes up higher, what I actually do is I modify the trend line and I say, okay, there's the new trend over there. Okay, you understand my logic? So when it breaks through there, or first of all, when you see that kind of candle there on a resistance level like that was the first warning that this is going to drop. There was a support level there as well at the bottom of these lows, and then it crashed through that as well, and then through this level. Now it's coming back. You can almost say it's coming back now to test this area over here with this trend line, the bottom side of this trend line. Okay, that's all I can see at this point in time. But what some guys will also do is now draw a trend line like that. And obviously, if it gets through this trend line, it's also another warning. So then it's broken this trend line, and then it actually breaks another trend line. But this will be support here. So if it does come onto this level, this is an area where you can buy. And there should be a reaction there. And then once again, if it bounces off this level and then fails and comes back to this level, at least you haven't suffered any loss because you just closed it where you went into the trade. And that's what I like doing is identifying an area below my current price where I can get in, where there's a good chance of a bounce, and at least I'm risk-free very quickly. And if it comes back to that level, then I'll close. There's something else I wanted to show you here. We did speak, well, on the post and that I spoke about this flag here. That was an indication that it was turning, that you could have bought there. Anyway, here, but also you often see this kind of thing happening. You see this trend line coming back, going back. I'm just going to draw it accurately. It's going back there from these highs through that level. When you've got if you're busy watching the price, I was unfortunately the weekend, I didn't pay too much attention to this because my son-in-law was here with 3 kids in our house, and it was family and all that kind of stuff. You see, when this price, so there were buy opportunities lower down here as well. Here's another trend line that it broke. When it broke that trend line, that flag, that trend line, that moving average. But even here, you see where this price reached this trend line. You see that that's now there. You see what it does here. It's hesitating and it's thinking what it's doing on this trend line. But you can see that is a correction. And you often see this on longer term trend lines, that the price will get to a longer term trend line like this. It will stall a bit and then it carries on. So that could have actually been an entry there as well. It drops down there, and you know, if you're going to buy here, you're going to put your stop loss just below this.
Yeah.
Those are. It takes time to learn to get into a trade once it's busy moving like this. But they are actually very good areas, low risk areas to get in, merely especially because your stop loss is just below that. Even here, this triangle, you see, in our technical analysis, playing for the normal technical analysis, we often spoke about the triangles. The triangles make 5 legs. It makes like an A, B, C, D, E inside here. That was a very clear continuation pattern, a triangle, and then it literally breaks out, retests it there, and carries on. And what you also often see is on a move like this, the price comes back. This where it comes back is often only 50% or 38% of this last move. Here as well, it comes back, it doesn't even come to 38% of this move. Here it comes back from this bottom here to that top. It only drops back to 38%, and the drop is in the form of an ABC. This is not impulsive like this drop over here. And it only drops, and it comes also on into the zone of this previous Hamas here, this triangle. All right, so now all we can do now is wait and see what's going to happen here. But also quite a few guys are saying whether it's tomorrow night, it's the FOMC, the Federal Reserve talking again tomorrow night. And crypto doesn't just, it's past the days that crypto just carries on its own mission. A lot of the guys who are trading this are also institutions, and they're very tuned into what the Federal Reserve is going to say tomorrow night. And that's going to have an influence. It's their monthly press conference, but it's not only a statement, it's their statement and press conference tomorrow night at I think it's either at 8 o'clock or no, it'll be 8, and the press conference will be at 8:30. And depending on what happens there, this is the NASDAQ. This is what happened this afternoon. You guys can still hear me,
yeah?
Yeah.
This is what, just to give you a quick overview. This happened since the market opened at 3:30 our time. 3:30 our time, South African time, the American market opens. Last night it dropped onto there and it came onto the support here. Very clean. You can see that's a double top. And then it broke through the height of that down here, but it's still going. But it's actually coming onto a level where you can buy it. I'm just going to show you why. Here's this channel running up here. This channel, you see it broke this channel here. So now I'm going to redraw this channel. I'm actually going to put it there. Let me just pull this line away. I'm going to redraw this channel like that. So the channel is just touching those extremes there. It was touching these lines here, but now I'm moving it over here. So now you can see what's busy happening here. I'm going to extend this channel. Let me just get rid of that. You see how this is also something that happens very often. When a price breaks through a previous high, it goes to 127 extension, Fibonacci extension. You see how it got to exactly 127% extension through the top of this high. And that's where it'll find resistance. It'll find other resistance either at the 127 or at the 161.8. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's where you use, especially if you've been reading up on Elliott wave and normal, even in any literature on Elliott on Fibonacci's, they'll also very often talk about Fibonacci extensions. And that's where you know the price is going to stall. And that's where the guys take profit in an area like that. And then you see how it came back also here, quite importantly, it came back onto the previous high. There's your previous high level over there, the 100%. So it went through the 100%, it found resistance there. Then it made a double top here. It broke that, and it also broke this previous high. I mean, that's a very important support level now. So then you can almost look at this. They would call this a false breakout. It's a false, it breaks out and comes back through that level. I'm just going to quickly redraw the 10 and the 20. So the 10 is sitting there, the 20 is sitting here, and the 50 is sitting over here. Now, let's just go and look on the 4 hour. I'm going to look at the 1 hour. You see, it's gone through the 10. Now, I'm also going to draw my fib retracement level. It's the first thing I do. I'm going to get rid of this Fibonacci there, just so there's no confusion. Now, here you see that this 20 train moving average and the 50 and this channel line, this area over here, and there's a very high likelihood. Well, I'll certainly look at buying it over here. It'll be in the next half an hour. It might first consolidate here and now, but then it might drop more. But I'll certainly look at buying it in this area. Now that's the Nasdaq. Now on a 1 hour. Well, it's on the 4 hour. You've got the picture what's happening on the 4 hour. You've got this trend, this channel here. You can see it's gone through the high. It's coming back, and there's a buy zone just above this channel. Now let's go and look. Obviously, if it comes to this level here, this 50-day will also be a very good buy area if it gets down there, and which also coincides with that low there. So the 50, that low, this will also be a very good buy area if it gets down here. But now let's just go look at the S&P, for example. Here's now a similar thing, the S&P. And because you very often find that on the indexes that a couple of them, like you can see that NASDAQ has got a buy area just below. It's still got another half an hour or whatever to get down to that level. Now you'll often find on a different index like the S&P, you'll also find a buy zone. And let me just go and draw these quickly. There's my 10, there's my 20, and there's my 50 up there. I'm going to go into let's go on. This is now on the 1 hour. So there's my 10. There will be a buy area there. Here on the 20, definitely, which coincides with that bottom there. So you can see that this area, time-wise, for the time it's going to take for the NASDAQ to get onto that buy area, you could argue that that's more or less when this will also be coming into a buy area. You notice here as well, it's busy going through that previous high. There was your previous high. You can also notice that this dropped short of the 127 extension over there, but there was a trend line going up here, that channel. And if I'd redraw that more accurately, there it is over there. I'm just going to get rid of this other gemors. So you can see that it also found resistance on the top of that channel. And that channel, that line, how I get to draw that channel is I draw connecting these points here. And I then bring that in closer. That's drawn more accurate now. You see how that channel is touching those previous tops, and then I bring this line here closer so that it's actually touching there. And that's more or less where I'm expected to find resistance. So there'll be a buying area here. Obviously this 50 coinciding with this channel here, with this channel line here, will be a very good buy area. But I somehow don't know whether it's going to get down here immediately. Okay, so that's S&P 500 and then the NASDAQ. And then the other one I look at a lot is the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is the US 30. Those are the three major indexes. And I'm on the 4 hour here, and you can see as well, let me go on to the daily. And very often, if one index is not that clear, you go and look at the three main indexes, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and the S&P. And sometimes on one of them, what's actually busy happening is a bit more clear. Get rid of that arrow. Okay, that's the daily. There's your daily 50 over there. And that's the daily 200. And at the moment, it's actually sitting there on the that's the 20. Got this one in. So put the 10 in as well. 10. That red. Okay, there's the 10. So you can see it's at the moment it's sitting on the 10. So there's a 10, there's a 20, and there's the 50. That's on a daily time scale. If I go into the 4-hour now, you can see this is still holding support here. There's a line going through here. And what's busy happening here is that because the NASDAQ has made such a sharp drop, this has dropped a lot more than the other indexes because this was more overbought. If you'll have a look on the RSI, you'll see it had a much bigger divergence. What's actually busy happening at the moment is that money is flowing. Here's the NASDAQ. There's the S&P 500. Let's forget about that. That's the Russell 2000. I'm going to put this US 30 down here next to it. So these bottom three now, and I'll put them all onto a 1-hour time frame. So this is the Dow Jones on a 1-hour time frame. This is the NASDAQ on a 1 hour, and this is the S&P 500 on a 1 hour. And you can see this is holding up much better. Some money is actually flowing out of here, and it's flowing into here. But when all three indexes start dropping at the same time like this, it also shows you that a bigger correction is underway. You sometimes see that one of these three, like the NASDAQ, will drop a lot, and this will actually be going up because money is just flowing straight out of here into here on a daily basis. And tomorrow it could be different. Tomorrow this could drop, and this could be stationary or moving slightly up. All right. Any questions?
What is the relationship between conventional stuff like stocks, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and, for example, cryptos? Do you say that they are related in any way? I'm looking at the charts and I see some sort of parallels.
Yes. All right.
I don't know what you reckon.
Yeah. And there's what seems to be the way that most people feel is that small moves like this, like on this S&P 500, like this won't influence crypto too much. But when you start getting bigger moves, in other words, when on the index, when it starts breaking through especially if it starts breaking through the 20-day moving average, and it's never mind the 50 will be very important. But when you start getting bigger movements, retracements on your indexes, that it will definitely influence but your crypto, because it's a mindset of risk either being on or risk being off. And when indexes are dropping, it means risk is off. People are pulling the money out of the stock market, and they're putting it into something safe like bonds. So that means risk is off, and that can be because of a fundamental or geopolitical or a macro, or it can just be that all your indexes have gone up too far. Now, for example, tomorrow, and that's why you might not see any major movements today, because everybody's waiting for the Federal Reserve tomorrow, which that is what he says. When he starts talking about interest rates and inflation, which is their big concern, and when they're going to start tapering. If they're going to start hinting at tapering, then the indexes are going to do a much bigger correction, and that will definitely pull crypto down with it. That's the way that,
For sure.
because there's a lot of institutions also trading crypto. So it's a mindset. The sentiment changes, and the overall sentiment of the market becomes negative, risk off, and then it'll pull crypto down as well. That's why I'm always watching what the indexes are doing. Okay.
You guys all looked at Tesla, because Tesla must be in the same kind of camp as this whole cryptocurrency. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, Jacques, I'll just say this, maybe bullshit, but like a 25% change in 1 week doesn't sound to me like bullshit.
No, look, you know, a lot of people are not pro crypto and Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean you can't make money on it.
No. So if you want to trade it, trade it.
If you want to trade it,
it's volatile enough, you trade it.
Yeah. Exactly. So you can make money about it. But even if you longer term don't believe in crypto or don't like it, yeah. So yeah, Graham, you're 100% right. Okay, there's something else I want to introduce you guys to that you can start going to look at. I'm going to move away from the charts for a minute. Let me just get my. Let me get this chart up here, because we're going to look at something here. And I'm going to switch you guys on for a second so I can actually see you. Where's Graham? Yeah, everybody's there. All right, you can all see me. Have you guys heard of arbitrage? Arbitrage.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a sophisticated thing, that.
All right, now, very basically, what arbitrage is this when the price of a particular instrument, and in this case, let's talk about Bitcoin. When the price of a particular instrument varies on different exchanges. So the price on a South African exchange like Luna, for example, is different to the price on an overseas exchange. And that happens especially when you have a lot of volatility. But now guys have written algorithms to take care of the arbitrage, so that you don't, it is complicated, but to simplify it for guys like me and you. And I just explain to you roughly how it works. There's two websites, two places that I know of that you can trade, that you can do this kind of arbitrage trading, and it's not very complicated. And I know somebody personally who typically makes 2%, 3% on a trade. Now I want to just define what a trade is and over what period it is. So very basically how it works. Can you guys see this slide where it says
yeah.
Okay.
Our trusted partners.
No, this is the first website that you guys can go and look at. It's called Bitwise. It's actually, there's the website name at the top. It's called Bitwise Crypto. And then I'll post links for this when we're finished. And then there's a second one, which is called CoinDirect. CoinDirect, I think, is based in the UK. And Bitwise Crypto was actually written by guys here in South Africa. So it's South African engineers who wrote this thing, put together the algorithms. But now, very basically, how it works is that have you guys heard of Currencies Direct?
No.
Currencies Direct is a South African institution. Once again, for all these names here, there's Currencies Direct, there's Trust Token, there's Binance, and there's Valor. You can just go and Google these institutions and read up on them. VALR is actually similar to Luno. It's a South African, exactly like Luno. And they get very good, there's very good write-ups about them as well. But let's just go back to Currencies Direct. Currencies Direct is a South African company. And well, let me get their website up here quickly. Currencies Direct. It allows you to transfer money at a very low cost. So this is not just for crypto. This is a company where you can transfer money. It doesn't matter what to any country in the world. It's like this, instead of using a SWIFT transfer or using a credit card to send money overseas, but it's cheaper and more cost effective than doing a SWIFT transfer. Okay, so that's the first one over here on the left, is Currencies Direct. So you basically open up an account at Currencies Direct, and you then pay money in there, and you then transfer it, and you transfer the money to a company called Trust Token. A Trust Token sits in the States somewhere, in America or Canada. Once again, go and read up on Trust Token. So the money gets transferred there, and then, because you then set up an account there as well, and once the money appears there, it automatically gets transferred to Binance. Now, Binance is an exchange like Luno, but they're based a couple of places in the world, in the States as well. And it's a big exchange. You've all heard of CoinDesk.
Yeah.
It's a big crypto exchange where you can trade just about any one of the altcoins, etc. So you'll typically open an account there as well. You open up accounts at all these places, but it's not that complicated. And at Valor. And then what happens is that you pay money into Currencies Direct, and you then forward that money to your account at Trust Token. Once the money arrives there in the way that it's been set up, it automatically sends the money to Binance. And that's when Bitwise then knows that your money is sitting there. And when it sees an arbitrage opportunity arise, it then does the transaction. So their algorithm will be looking at prices in South Africa, and they'll be looking at prices on the Binance exchange. And then at the right time, it'll buy typically Bitcoin. I think they do Bitcoin and they do XRP on this exchange, and immediately it transfers it to South Africa and it resells it again. But that happens transparently. And then the difference in that price is where you make your profit. And then that same money that you paid in here at Currencies Direct, once that transaction's been complete, gets paid back into your account in South Africa. And then with that 2% profit or whatever you made. And remember last week, Graham, we were talking about big amounts of money and sitting somewhere and earning interest, etc. So this is certainly an option. Now, 2% doesn't sound a lot, but to give you an example, this other guy I know is using 200,000 Rand at this point in time. And because once the money gets back into your account here, then you must go yourself and initiate the transaction again. So then you'll pay that money into Currencies Direct, transfer it to Trust Token, and then it sits at Binance and it literally waits there until the algorithm sees that there's a discrepancy and does a transaction for you. Now, he's typically using 200,000 Rand, and he did a trade like this. This is one trade. And as I say, very little effort, because all he has to do is put the money into Currencies Direct and transfer it to Trust Token. And then he's out of the cycle. And he did this twice last month and he made 9,000 Rand.
Jeez, I'm in.
So you don't have to, you don't have this stressing about which way is the market going to go. Is the market going to go up? Is the market going to go down? This has got this happens. This arbitrage transaction happens irrespective of whether the market's going up or going down. It's purely looking at that where there's when there's volatility, and it's looking at that price difference between the overseas market exchange and the local exchange, and that's when it does the transaction. So your money's pretty safe as well, you know, unless one of these institutions gets hacked or something to that effect. And it's very little input from your side, and I think that's not a bad return. I mean, 200,000 Rand, he made himself 9,000 Rand for very little effort. All right, now there's something else we need to look at. While let's keep the questions till just now, because I'm sure there are going to be questions. But now, Jacques, this is where your knowledge will also come in. There's obviously, you need Reserve Bank approval. Now, your first. Let me just open. He sent me a WhatsApp today.
Million Rand. Million Rand you can transfer out.
Now, your first million Rand, you don't need tax. They call it a TCC, a tax clearance.
Yeah, tax clearance.
Yeah.
No.
So for the
foreign investment allowance approval, you don't need that.
Yeah. So for the first million Rand, you don't need.
Use what they call the discretionary travel allowance.
You don't need a TCC, a tax clearance certificate for the 4 million Rand.
Bank needs your tax number, and that's it.
Yeah, then you can do it. But now that's only for the first million Rand. So now, if like he uses 200,000 Rand at a time. So if he puts 200,000 Rand through the cycle 5 times, then he's up to his million Rand. Okay. So that can happen. That can happen.
Because it comes back again. They bank it back into your bank account.
They bank it back into your bank account. But now, then I asked him specifically. But now, what happens? Because the money's coming back into your account, is that considered that it's left the country? And then his answer to me was that the Reserve Bank at this point in time doesn't have the know-how to differentiate and see on crypto transactions when this comes back. So what I'm saying is that it uses up your million Rand. If you've done 5 transactions of 200,000 Rand, it's used up your million Rand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Jacques.
Yeah.
If you've got a tax clearance, aren't you allowed to move 10 million?
Yes, I'm getting to that now.
So
that's my next point I want to make. Now,
you first have to have the 10 bar lying in a cash account to prove to SARS that you have the money.
Okay, what he said.
Sorry, Jacques, but if you keep on moving, I mean, in what Jacques has just said, sorry, I have to ask a question here because I've already lost what I wanted to ask earlier, which was important. But if I go here on what you're telling me now, I moved my 200 grand 5 times, okay? And then I've used up my 1
million.
I've moved up. I don't know what's going on with my screen now, but if you can see me, that's great. I move up my million, and then I in 5 times 200 buck transactions, and then that's done. So now, if I want to, that's why I'm looking at the 10 million threshold, because SARS hasn't got the capacity to understand that if you move 200 grand in and out, then you haven't done a damn thing.
When I asked him that question, what his answer was, he said that if what he does, he uses his. If you've got you need to have $1 million sitting in your account. Yeah. Okay. This is now after the first million. I'm talking now after the first million. What you need is $1 million sitting in your account. Then you ask SARS for an additional TCC. And based on the $1 million that's now sitting in your account, they give you that additional TCC, and that can happen 10 times. That's where the other 10 million comes in. now what he does, he doesn't leave 1 million rand lying in his account. So what he does, on his bond, on his house bond, on his what do they call it?
Access bond.
On his access bond, he moves the 1 million into his current account. He does the application to Reserve Bank. He moves the 1 million back to his bond, and then they give him the approval for the next 1 million. And
approval pin, yeah.
So that's how he gets to the 10 million in a year.
But if you're doing these transactions fast, I mean, if you're doing 200 a day, for example, with arbitrage, then 5 days and you've used up your 1 million capacity, and it's not very much longer before you've used up your 10 million, even though effectively no money is actually moved.
That's it. Then all right. But first of all, this arbitrage opportunity doesn't come around every day. He typically does 2 a month, 2, 3 a month. Where's my screen? Now, but you guys need to go and read up on this. But you can obviously set, apparently, I haven't done this myself, but inside Bitwise and inside the other platform, this CoinDirect, you can go and set how much profit you want to make. And typically, if you move the profit higher, the higher you set the profit, the less often it will happen.
Yeah.
But he typically does 2 of these trades a month. So maybe you do 2, maybe you do 3, but it's not something you're going to be doing every day or every second day, because that money has to sit. That money sits there and it waits for the right parameters. So unfortunately,
and then there's an algorithm that's actually deciding, decides when to do the move.
Yeah.
There's a price differential between what you pay for Bitcoin here and what you pay for it overseas.
Yeah.
And it's apparently it's 4%.
Wow.
So what these guys are doing is they take the 2% and you take 2%.
Yeah.
They're making quite a lot of money.
Yeah, he said to
out
me,
of money that there's not even theirs.
Yes, they make less than the 2%. He's been making between 2 and 4%. It all depends on a lot of factors and what kind of arbitrage opportunities come up. This website has got all. You can just go into the website, read through here. There's a couple of questions. Yeah, Currencies Direct, for example, is 500 Rand for a fixed amount that you pay per transaction that you do. So if you transfer 100,000 Rand, whether you transfer 20,000 Rand or 100,000 Rand, it's a fixed 500 Rand. There's all the percentages there.
The fees, is that the fees?
So those are the fees that are involved. It's just lower down on the page. You guys can read that in your own time. Then,
look, if I'm allowed to move 1 million, okay, then isn't the smarter thing to actually move the 1 million and then to do your arbitrage?
Oh, you muted yourself.
We can't hear you.
You muted yourself.
Let me just, right, I've sent him a message.
Yeah.
Okay, is that any better?
Yes, sorry, we couldn't hear you. You muted yourself.
Well, if you're going to do arbitrage and you've got a rather, frankly, stupid system, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You've got it's a stupid system that actually says that every time you move your 200 Rand, because you're moving it in and out, you're actually exporting it. But let's forget that. If that's the case, surely the logical thing would be to actually export your million, because you're not going to have those limitations elsewhere. So once you've shipped your money out, then you can carry on doing arbitrage indefinitely.
Graham, the way I understand it, it's this arbitrage on the difference in Rand what you pay and buying it in Rands and then selling it in dollar. That buying and selling in the 2 different currencies.
Yes.
So you have to buy in Rand.
But can't you do it buying Rands from offshore?
No, I don't think you can.
I don't know.
Because my understanding is that that's why people invest in the rand from offshore, exactly because you know, you get such a marvelous return because of our interest rates, that a lot of offshore people are investing in rand. So that's why I'm trying to work out how this works.
Yes, look, that's a straightforward investment in our bond market and other markets.
Yeah,
with the guys, and that's got nothing to do with arbitrage.
okay.
Yeah, that's something entirely different. There used to be arbitrage differences, opportunities on the forex market long time ago, but because the forex market's become so efficient, those arbitrage opportunities don't exist anymore, because all the exchanges, the price is the same on all the exchanges. And in a couple of years from now, who knows, whenever, the arbitrage opportunities on Bitcoin might also disappear, but at the moment they're not there.
Okay, thanks.
So the
Take
best
your 10 million and trade it once. Boom.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are coming out again.
Well, you need to have the 10 to do that. Yeah, I don't know if that's a sort of practical consideration, but I would think so. So you've got to do your 200 sort of 20 times or whatever it is, because unless you've got 10 in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think what Jock is saying, don't bet the whole house on 2% profit.
Yeah.
You'd be very careful of where the greed factor takes you. You've got to keep the cowboy. You've got to keep the cowboy off the horse, or I don't know what the right term is, but you've got to put his guns away. Make sure he doesn't go wild. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for you to teach us about psychology so that we can actually learn to do that.
I sent you that thing about the three. But all Einstein said, there's three things that you think of when you do share trading: greed, fear, and stupidity.
When that greed takes over, sooner or later it's going to bite you. But Graham, there's certain things about by the way, we've lost your video.
Yeah, I don't know how to get my video back, except I suppose I'm sparing you of my face, but I don't know how to really do it.
Let me just see if I can figure out here somewhere.
You got to press the video button. There's a little camera on your
Must I do it? Must I do it? Okay, view options.
Click on your picture.
Wait,
click on your.
Okay.
Click the three dots on your
start
picture.
Video. Ah, you guys are smart. Right. Sorry to spoil the screen.
Okay. So
change your background. Now you got your hand up.
No, here it is.
No, over to this hand. Yeah, there's a little hand up there. You obviously put your hand up at some stage to ask a question.
Yeah, I did, but I'm not doing that now.
It's all right. Like I sent you guys that book. Read through those first two chapters. But at the end of the day, a lot of the psychology is pretty obvious, and you know, you can't really teach somebody to be less reckless. You've got to realize yourself that you're being reckless. But read through those two chapters, because once you actually read it, you'll realize that it's a problem that many people have, and sometimes obvious things in life, one needs to just be reminded about it. And when you actually read it in text and you see, then you can relate to it, and then you'll start hopefully addressing those things. I'll send you links for both of these. Bitwise crypto is a bit more work because you have to set up these various accounts. And what I wanted to say to you is all you have to do is sign up. Go at the top right here, it costs you nothing. You sign up, it's just your email address and a password. And then once you then logged in, I'm just logging in here now, then you'll see there's the help here with everything, settings. It tells you how to set up your various accounts. There's also training here at the bottom. They're setting up a VLR account, setting up a Binance account. There's videos on all the different stuff, and possibly a lot of the questions you have are going to be answered in these various sections over here. The Coin Direct, the UK based one, there's a separate page called Arbitrage. You can go and read up here as well how it works. This one apparently is a lot easier to set up. That doesn't involve creating 4 accounts. I think you just set up 1 account, or you just, but go and read all of it.
So is that Coin Direct that you're saying that it's easier? Or are you saying that
yes, Coin Direct
is easier?
Coin Direct is a bit easier, but it involves setting up less accounts. But
Thanks,
apparently you make let me just see here what he said. You make 0.3% less money on the one than the other one. Yeah, he's saying.
But that one probably, Jock, maybe this one, you don't have to send your money in and out of the country.
You'll have to go and read up on it.
I think
register,
that one
register there and go and have a look. And then next time we talk, when you guys have looked at it in a bit more detail, I see here for more information. I also see Reserve Bank. Yeah, I don't have all the answers. And they've got a sales team here as well. This Coin Direct, I see here, you can contact sales as well, and then ask them those questions.
Yeah. And what return do they offer?
The two are apparently very similar. The actual costs are slightly higher, 0.3% higher. He says here, so the total combined transaction cost is about 1.2 using Bitwise and 1.5 using Coin Direct. So it's 0.3% difference between the two.
That's quite hectic. 1.3% cost.
But that's the total combined costs, everything from beginning to end. Swift fees, banking charges, the whole lot.
Yeah.
But he's, all I can tell you is he made 9,000 Rand in using 200,000 Rand. He circulated the 200,000 Rand twice through the whole process.
So he used, so on 400,000 Rand, he made
400,000 Rand, yeah, of his million allowance. And he made 9,000 Rand. And that happened in a month's time, in 1 month, yeah. But I mean, if you can make 9,000 Rand on 200,000 Rand,
every month.
4.5% per month.
Yeah, I know. Where else are you going to get that?
Nowhere.
Bitcoin.
If you get the cycle right, and if you sell it at the right time. But at the end of the day, it's not the one or the other one. You should do both. But at least this one there's less headaches involved. See it more as a passive income.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it. We've been going for an hour.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Let's keep it short and sweet. I want to go and see I want to go and look at NASDAQ.
When are they announcing the inflation and all of that?
Tomorrow. It'll be. It's always at a set time. You guys know that.
8 o'clock.
You guys know that. Let me just give it to you once.
Ouch.
This website here. This website is called forexfactory.com. And forexfactory.com, you can see here, and just going at the top, make sure that the time, you see them, my cursor is at the top. Make sure the time is set to your local time, because then it gives you the time of all the releases in your time over there. So you must just go and set that up. Like the Victoria 24-hour. That way you can see now here, for example, tomorrow night, Wednesday, here, 2000, 8 o'clock is FOMC statement. Federal funds rate.
Our time.
8 o'clock, and then 8:30 is the press conference. That's our time, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this is a website you must always save somewhere that you can always look at. But this is a very important one tomorrow night because of the interest, because of the inflation that's been creeping in as well.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to listen to what he says in the press conference. If you guys don't have a link to the press conference, I'll send you a link to the press conference tomorrow night as well. He speaks for about half an hour and the guys ask him questions.
So the bullshits for half an hour.
So a question I wanted to ask you earlier. You spoke about this this site or this organization which is similar to Luno called VALR, which you said is a South African organization.
Yes.
Now, I just want to say one of the things I find personally attractive about, for example, Luno, because it's South African, is that you're not actually sending any money out of the country, so you don't have to worry about SARS or anyone else. Now, when you get to VALR, is that not the same? You don't have to worry about exchange control.
Vale is a South African like Luno, but the foreign exchange, the Reserve Bank thing comes in when you paying the money, when you're sending the money offshore.
Yeah.
Let me just get that slide up again. So the Reserve Bank thing comes into play when you actually pay the money into Coin Direct, and you then transfer to Trust Token. So that you still have to do.
So you can't go direct to VALR.
No, because how this happens is then the money goes to Binance, it sits there, and then the algorithm will then do the transaction and buy it, then immediately send it back here and sell it here.
Okay.
So there's no way of bypassing that. And obviously on the Coin Direct one, I'm not sure how they set it up.
Yeah.
I don't have that information. You're going to have to look into it. And how I think you'll also use Currency Direct typically because it's cheaper to get money to them than doing a SWIFT transfer. That's the only thing that Currencies Direct does. You'll have to speak to these people and find out how they work. That works there. I was just told that the process is a bit simpler.
Thanks, Jacques.
Sure. Okay. Interesting. Thank you.
Pleasure. This is the kind of thing you don't advertise to anybody because obviously the more people get involved in arbitrage, I mean,
the worse.
The less effective it becomes.
Keep it a secret.
So it's an open secret, but it's not something you go and tell every guy in the public.
You don't want to promote it.
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
They were talking about it on SAFM about a month ago in the evening when they do the financial stuff.
What were they saying?
Well, they had the one guy, I think it was from the MD. He was talking about exactly how the whole process works. He was on 2 evenings, I heard him.
What was the MD of what? Of which company?
It was I think it was the Bitwise, the young guy.
Yes, he's a young guy.
Yeah, I think it was Bitwise.
His name's David.
Yeah.
David, I'll tell you, David Beretta. His surname's Beretta. I know his dad personally, but as a matter of interest, with a tether, and there's another one. There's 2. What do they call them? They're not altcoins. They are. I'll give you the right wording now. They call it. They call them stable coins. He put in a buy order lower down on. This is the kind of thing, Graham, that you shouldn't hear because your kop gaan uittak.
Maar ek sit nog altyd vas met daai probleem hoor.
They on this thing the whole time. They developed that guy you're talking about now. Lives here in the Cape. I've met him personally. Him and his partner, they developed the algorithm that runs this whole thing.
Wow.
And
wow, that's something.
Yeah, a young guy. And they put in buy orders, they leave buy orders. You know already know what a buy order is. But
I've got one running all the time.
They leave buy orders at lower prices and they leave them there permanently. And apparently a few days ago, a day or two ago, on the stable coins, like Tether, the price, there was a spike down and it triggered the buy order. And they made R1 million profit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that was because of the news of Tether being a rather dodgy outfit where they didn't actually
most
have enough
probably
capital to justify or back what they had, what they were selling. But that's another story.
That was most probably on that news, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, some people are lucky.
Well, thanks very much, Jacques.
Lekker.
Yeah, you get luckier if the harder you work at it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Gary
I
Player
think
said
the smartest guys don't work.
Okay.
What did Gary Player said? He said the more you
The harder you work, the luckier he gets.
No, the more you practice, the luckier.
Yeah,
the more you practice, the luckier you got.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks.
Okay, boys. Okay, chat soon. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye.
Yes.
Do all your homework. Go and read up on these things.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that.
Lekker. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.